Hey guys, I am so excited you are here. Oh my gosh. So I'm excited because I am sharing with you, something I've never shared before on Facebook, something I have shared sometimes in my podcast and so often with my paid coaching clients and in my programs. But I need you to know that I have held myself back so much in life. I would say there's a good 10-year period where I held myself back from living life to the fullest, and I was really chained by my own fear. I was chained by my fear of letting myself down. I was chained by my fear of worrying about what people thought of me, of not succeeding, of what people might think if I failed. And I realized that fear and that perfectionism, there's always a fear of rejection at the bottom of it. And so I'm so excited to talk to you today about some strategies that I use to break the chains. You guys, they're physical chains that hold us down of perfectionism. How to break some of those. And I've got 3 major strategies. But for those of you who are live, who whether you read my email or you saw the note on Facebook that I was going to be popping in live and you are here and present, I wanted to let you know I have a 4th tip. I have 4 awesome tips I want to share with you today. So, and don't worry if you are listening to this on a replay, if you weren't able to make the live broadcast, I am going to be personally commenting on anyone's comments that get posted. So in the next 72 hours. So even if you want to ask questions and you're like, crap, I missed it. I wasn't live. Don't you worry. I promise you I'm going to personally interact with every single person who makes a comment and asks a question or just gets involved. So here's the deal, the 4th one, and I made notes because you guys know I sometimes can be chatty, but here is your bonus strategy and how, for me, was the biggest things that breaks perfectionism, even when I'm sinking in it myself, even when even my husband Brandon will say hey Trish, let me ask you a question. And I'm always because I know that the question he's gonna ask is this, and it's, do you really know what you want? So your bonus tip of breaking the chains of perfectionism, or even, I'm calling it the same 2 things, breaking the chains of perfectionism or holding yourself back. You guys, they're the same thing, because when we hold ourselves back, we're either engaged in perfectionistic tendencies and thinking and waiting for the perfect time. We're trying to be better, to be good enough to try something, or we're procrastinating. So whenever you hold yourself back, you can ask yourself those 2 questions. Am I procrastinating or am I engaging in perfectionistic thinking? Either way, the result is the same because those 2 are cousins. You don't do anything, right? You're holding yourself back, whether you're holding yourself back from a goal or you're holding yourself back from living life to the fullest or giving your heart to the world or following that dream that seems scary. You're holding yourself back. And so I'm going to call those in and out themselves the same. And for me, when I get into that mindset, my husband asks me this, what do you really want? And oh my gosh, that is so hard because I think I know what I want, but then sometimes I don't. And so I made a note here that I really find that for me, when I get stuck in it, we often overload ourselves and we hold ourselves back because we don't know what it is that we want. So it's hard to go put your all in when you think you want something. And that can be related to a weight loss goal. It can be related to writing a book, to starting a business, to changing your relationships, whatever, wherever you're holding yourself back. I really want to ask you a question. Why are you resisting? What is it that's making you resist the change that you have to make? Fear? And when you're resisting the change, are you resisting it from fear, or are you resisting it because you don't know if you really want it? And that's a really important question to ask. It's okay to not want something that you thought you wanted when you dig down deep and you know you don't actually want it. Okay, strategy number 1 official, right? So this is the bonus for everybody who showed up. And if you are showing up late and just catching the broadcast now, don't worry, you're gonna catch that full bonus strategy. Strategy number 1 to really stop holding yourself back is to know that perfectionism is a trained mindset. Okay, so here's the deal. Socially acceptable statement is that perfectionism is just a personality type. And I'm here to tell you it's not a personality type. You can have propensity for perfectionism. You can have a type A personality where you want to achieve and you want things to be a specific way and you like to follow the rules. But perfectionism, you guys, has no power over you. You have the control over it. And so when you realize that, you can stop using perfectionism as an excuse of why you're not doing something, an excuse of why you're not pursuing that dream, that calling, why you're not sharing your story, why you're not doing videos or Facebook Live. Oh, because you're not ready, right? There's no reason for you to be delaying your purpose, you guys. We aren't guaranteed tomorrow. But perfectionism tells us that we are, right? Perfectionism tells us that we do. So we need to be perfect in order to be able to show up and be ourselves in the world. And I'm telling you, you don't have to be. And I need you to really know that this strategy, knowing that you have the power, not perfectionism, that is mind changing. I had identified for so many years, actually, we got a few people on here. How many of you have actually thought that you're just a perfectionist, right? That was going to always be part of your identity. And if go ahead and just, I'd love to see if that's something you've thought. Share and let me know. I'd be curious too, how has perfectionism held you back in life? For me, it's a really important question to ask. Because when you're breaking up with perfectionism, you've got to know why it's no good for you. It's like a bad relationship. It's a toxic relationship. But I challenge you, and I'm asking you this seriously. What has perfectionism kept you from? And Kelly, amen, girl. I have, having Ellie and having kids, that has definitely broken me from perfectionism in a lot of ways, but it still actually opens you to a whole new world of perfectionism. I love that. Carrie, I thought I was a perfectionist too, because I thought in order to be loved well, my body needed to be a specific way, my hair needed to be a specific way. And yes, Kelly, another great point is perfectionism is this delayed of everything, right? So if you ever feel like you're overthinking in life, you probably just need to move on and stop thinking. You're engaging in perfectionistic behaviors, and anytime you do that, I want you to, anytime you find yourself going, why am I holding myself back? Why am I overthinking? Why can't I make this decision? I need you to know, and why am I second guessing myself? That is a red flag going, break up. Like, break up with this thought pattern right now. Adele, that's a great point. I think for me, perfectionism started when I thought I'd always wanted to be the best. And then I got fearful that I wasn't, because I had lied to myself and believed this mentality that in order to be loved and valued, I had to be the best. And I think that's honestly the greatest lie I allowed myself to believe, because then my worth depended entirely on my performance, on everything I did, on being better than other people. And then, it was also caused this internal conflict, because I wanted to be better than other people, but I also wanted to love people and let them know that I love them just as much as myself. But there was this moralistic conflict that was going on internally of saying, like, I'm trying to prove myself to be better, so to speak, it was so shameful to feel. Yet it was driving me. So there's a really interesting conflict that goes on. And for me, when I broke up with perfectionism and learned that it goes back to this strategy, that I had the power, that it wasn't my personality type. Yes, I'm a type A. I was prone to perfectionism. And I didn't have to listen to it. I don't have to buy into that, And so that's a big breakthrough. And for me, that's when I started, when I broke up with perfectionism, I stopped pretending that everything had to be perfect on the outside in order to make me loved. I then found myself in life being more congruent, And here's the thing, you guys know I'm a confidence coach. I think the essence of confidence lies in congruency. When you are on the outside, what you profess to believe on the inside, and you can live that out congruently, y'all, your confidence just flows over and explodes, and it's contagious. And then all of a sudden you find yourself doing exactly what you want to be doing. You follow through. So that were tips number 1 and 2. And by the way, guys, if you are jamming out on some of these topics, or if you know anyone that struggles with perfectionism or holding themselves back, or they're thinking about their 2017 goals, and you're like, you just had a conversation with them, and you're like, let's brainstorm, I'm going to be your accountability partner, go ahead and either share this live feed to them, invite them into the conversation, or if you don't want to share it to your page, totally fine, but tag them in one of the comments so that they can see. And for anybody that does share, I'm going to personally thank you for inviting other people. And we've got to have more dialogue, letting people know it's okay to let go. Like, I don't love somebody because they've this image that they've spent so much time putting up. I love people for being real. And it's time that we let our family and friends know that we love the real them more than the manufactured them. Our second tip is to ask yourself and really wonder, think about this. Take ownership over what it is that you are holding back. Okay, so if you find yourself, whether through overthinking, through perfectionism, through delay, through procrastination, whatever it is, in whatever way that you're holding yourself back in life, maybe it's in business, maybe it's in putting yourself out there in relationships, you're dating right now, whether you're, right, I always go back to writing a book, because writing a book is very scary for me, and I know completely changed and transformed because of your story and your writing, then shame on you. um, at like 8 p.m. and fall asleep at 9 p.m. because I just so, when you live and you've followed your heart and put your heart out there, you sleep so well. And I sleep well because I know I sometimes feel vulnerable. I sometimes feel scared. Sometimes I love doing Facebook Live, and sometimes, y'all, I feel like an idiot, and that's okay. I need you to know that. But what I can do and tell myself at night is, did I show up in the world? Did I love well? And did I learn? Did I love? Was I willing to sacrifice my comfort in order to help inspire or love and encourage somebody else, to let them know that I know their pain, to let them know that sometimes I second guess myself too, to let them know that I understand what it feels like to hate the skin you're in and wish that you were someone else. Like, if I could share some of that and be vulnerable and open and not hold my story back, and I could change and encourage one person whose entire life could then change in their family, you guys, then it's worth it. So when you ask yourself, what is it that you're holding back? How is it holding you back? I want you to ask yourself. But the real strategy to this, to get the power back, is ask, what am I holding back from the world? Because I really believe we have a gift. We all have gifts. And you have a purpose. If you are living and breathing right now, you're meant to give something. And that is, more often than not, the answer to that is in your story. But your story, God didn't give you your story for you to hold on to. He gave it to you to share. And so I'm going to take a sip of my coffee here, but I would love to just take a couple seconds to ask yourself, what is it do you think you're holding back from the world by holding back on yourself? I'd love to hear, and I'd love to encourage you in that, because I'm going to go back through all the comments after this broadcast is done. But what is it really? And that's, you may not know the answer. If it doesn't come to mind right away, that's okay. But I challenge you, journal about this. You guys pray about this, meditate about it, go for a run, and let your mind be free and think, okay, I'm holding myself back from my own fear and comfort, right? Because it's scary to be vulnerable. It's scary to step outside of your comfort zone. But okay, so take that aside. What is me not holding myself back, keeping from the world? Now, maybe if it's a business thing, maybe you're keeping your family from having more financial freedom. If it's giving your heart and story, starting that book, starting a different business, being friendlier and more outgoing to your neighbors to have more friends and quality relationships. You guys have no idea the impact you, just by being you, can have. So if you have an answer, I'd love for us to share and talk about that. I know for me, when I held myself back, you guys, I didn't write my book. Actually, a story I don't often talk about is, I had my first book, The Skinny Sexy Mind, was on my heart years ago. And I held myself back from writing it because I was dating somebody at the time who said, oh, that's nice, you're writing a book. Who's going to read that? That's an interesting idea. I'm going to be over here watching TV. I hope you have a great night. And mocked me every time I opened my laptop. And you guys, what did I do? I closed my laptop. I didn't write for 2 years. I was told by the same person that I was a small fish, that who was I to think that I had anything to contribute, that, of course, this was a toxic and painful relationship, but I'm brainwashed to think that I really had nothing to give, and who was I to think that I had anything special to say or give? And so I believed that, and I settled into it. And so me holding that back for a couple years, that's one reason I'm so passionate about coaching and about sharing confidence and courage with people, because y'all, I got some time to make up. I wasted time because I listened to the wrong people and I listened to my fear. And for that reason, I held back a lot of love and encouragement to people who I know need it, because we all need that. You guys, we have such a dark world. There's so many discouraging things. We need more light and love out there, you know? And Kelly, yeah, change is so hard. And I sometimes hold myself back too. I did, because the change was uncomfortable. And then you think, well, what if I don't like it? So again, it goes back to that overthinking that we talked about earlier, which is the huge red flag of that being, you guys, perfectionistic thinking. And perfectionistic thinking, anytime you get into that mindset that it's happening, I want you to know, whoa, red flag, this is not taking me anywhere. This is the wrong train of thought, and it's taking me to a negative place and a toxic place. And you guys, when you're thinking about how you're holding yourself back, I want you to think about, who is it out there? Even if you think of one person, who is it out there that you would love to help and inspire? And when you're scared, when you're tempted to hold yourself back, reach out, love on that person. I hold myself back because I'm scared to fail. Yes. Oh my gosh, Adele. Yes. If I could tell you, I want you to know, sometimes it's just so encouraging to know that we all feel this way, right? That feeling afraid to fail is actually a sign that you're doing the right thing. My mentor, Todd Durkin, told me that once, and it was the best, most encouraging thing ever, because I said, Todd, I'm terrified. I'm a confidence coach, but here I am struggling to have the confidence to go start a coaching business. And he laughed and he said, Trish, your fear is a sign that you're doing something that's worth fighting for, right? That fear of failing means it matters enough to you. And the other thing I've learned as I've pushed past and broken free from holding myself back is, just like we're taking back the power of the word perfectionism, you can take back the power back in. Failure doesn't have power unless you give it power. Doesn't. It's just a word. And so to me, failure doesn't have a negative connotation to me. Failure, I've learned to retrain my mind. I'm not saying this happens overnight, but over the years, I've learned to retrain my mind and say that this is okay. And you guys, I fail all the time, and I embrace that failure because I'm learning something different. I fail all the time in my Facebook advertising. Oh my gosh, I say dumb stuff sometimes, and ads don't convert, and then I change the ads, I change the photo, I change the targeting. That's just a business example. I have a million examples of how I failed in business, of how I failed in some of my marathon running, how my foot's injured because I failed in listening to my body. But I know the best way to actually fail in a negative way is to not try. And what I hope that you can walk away when you're thinking about this is that I really believe that we each have within us the deep propensity for courage, this capacity for courage. Yes, Mel, your fear is the right sign that you're doing something right and you're fighting for something that's worthwhile. Otherwise, you wouldn't care. And you guys, within us, you have within you courage. We have to water that courage. You've got to believe that you can stand up and keep facing your fear every day. That's why I love Eleanor Roosevelt. Oh my gosh, she is like my favorite. And now my daughter is named after my grandmother, but Ellie's official name is Eleanor, because I also love Eleanor Roosevelt so much, because face one thing every day that scares you. And you guys can look at me and think, oh, it's so easy for her. I need you to know, doing Facebook Live still scares me. It does. One reason I'm drinking coffee is comforting to me. I'm willing to embrace that because I know that Facebook Live is a great way to have a conversation and to be a real community. And I want to serve and love you and share from the heart with great strategies. I didn't know yours was Eleanor too. That's wonderful, Kelly. And I knew she was Ellie, but I didn't know that Eleanor. And here's the thing, you guys. The more you become friends with fear, the less role that fear has in your life. Right? It's all about redefining. We're redefining words. We're redefining perfectionism. We're redefining who has the power. We're redefining failure. We're redefining so many things. And that's what I hope you take away when you realize, how do I take my life to the next level this next year? It is realizing, there's a second bonus, right? I give you a first bonus for those of you joining late into the broadcast. Make sure you catch the beginning. We're talking about 3 strategies to overcome holding yourself back. But I have a bonus strategy at the beginning. Here's an unexpected bonus. You have more power than you realize. Okay, you're like, okay, not a big bonus there, Trish. When you realize how powerful that is, you're going to realize how big of a bonus it is. I really mean it. The greatest gift you have, the greatest skill you have. We all have different gifts, right? We have different personalities, different talents, but we all have this same great gift, and that is the power of our thoughts, power of our mind. And those who choose to activate that live a different level of life. And that, if you realize that you can honestly start training your mind, and it's going to be frustrating. And you guys, when I say train your mind, you might have 1,000 thoughts in the day that are negative. If you can start making that be 877 thoughts instead of the 1,000, that is progress. Rather than beat yourself up for saying, I'm not where I want to be, you can start recognizing, no, I'm training my thoughts and I'm changing this and bringing this down. So the most powerful thing, the greatest gift, your greatest asset, the thing that gives me confidence in being able to say to you, I believe you can do anything you set your mind to. I don't care if that's a physical thing. I don't care if it's a relational goal. I don't care if it's a personal goal. I don't care if it's a business goal. I know for a fact, yes, ma'am, mind power. If you can take ownership of your mind power in 2017, the end of here, 2016, and going into 2017, I can with full, absolute confidence let you know that you will do it, anything you want. So you have the power to define what a word means to you and what it doesn't. You have the power to train your mind. You have the power to break free. So there's your second bonus. And guys, don't forget, if you're just joining in, you haven't invited some other people in the conversation, please do tag this post, share this conversation. We want to love on more people, and I want you to realize that you have a great influence. The fact that you're listening to content and watching this video as a way to train your mind is proof in the pudding that you're destined to be a leader, that you have a calling to impact and love on people. So our third, and you guys have to excuse me for taking notes because, like I said, I can get excited and lost. And I have my sheets upside down. Here's our third tip. I want you to replace the story you tell yourself. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Replace the story you tell yourself. Mindset's key. What stories are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself, I'm just a perfectionist, or, I can't seem to do things right. I never seem to follow through, or I'm a little bit shy and I don't like putting myself out there. Because if you allow yourself to continue telling yourself that story, yeah, thank you. I'm really jamming on this too, Carrie, is this replace the story you tell yourself is so key. So let's replace those stories, right? I'm not a perfectionist, I'm a recovering perfectionist. I'm not somebody who doesn't follow through. I used to struggle with following through, but now I've trained my mind to always follow through on what I say I'm going to do. It's a big difference. Don't even allow yourself to associate with being that other person. I don't care if just listening to this broadcast is the first time you've even thought that way. You can make the decision that right now you're replacing the story. Replace the stories with saying, I'm just a little bit shy and introverted sometimes, which is okay to be an introvert. You guys, I'm a blend of introverted and extroverted. Okay, so you replace that story as I love people and I want to be the first person to say hi and I want to be loving and welcoming and generous to people. That's it. That doesn't mean you should be crazy and outgoing. Just means you're willing to step out and love, right? And be generous of your spirit. Replace the story. And I would love to hear, and we just have a couple more minutes before we're going to close here today, but I would love to hear some of the stories. Like, let's do this. Here's your call to action. Do you really want to change the way you follow through? Do you really want to stop holding yourself back? If you do, I want you to type in and comment. Tell me what the story you've been telling yourself is, and what story you're going to replace. And if I could type in right now, I would do it, but I will tell you mine to start. And would love, again, this is my challenge. If you're serious and you're ready to put the power of your mind and words into action, take the words from your mind and put them into a comment. Here's mine. Ready? Pretend I'm typing, right? Mine is a story I've told myself recently, especially with a toddler who was sleeping, and I hope she's sleeping. I don't know. She could be screaming upstairs, but I've committed to you guys. I think she's sleeping. I've got her monitor over here. But my story has been, gosh, I'm so busy, right? I don't know when I'm going to have time to vacuum the house, and the house needs to be perfect. And I'm actually looking at a ball pit over here, a pirate ship. Y'all, I'm not even going to flip the camera around just to honor you, but it looks like I'm in this great office. Half of my office is filled with toddler toys. So my story that I'm replacing is the word busy. I don't want busy to define my life. I cringe a little bit when I have girlfriends who live close by that don't see me often say, gosh, we miss you. I hope everything's going well. Like, you've probably been really busy. Which the easy answer is then to say, yeah, I've been so busy. Well, that's not a good story that serves me. The stories you tell yourself either serve you or take you further away to stagnation, right? So what stories are you replacing? Is it that I'm not a perfectionist, I'm a recovering perfectionist? I don't struggle with negativity. I choose positivity, but I'm learning to do it better every day. What story you tell yourself changes everything about how you see yourself. How you see yourself changes everything about how you live out and walk and honor yourself. And when you honor your self-care and you honor your thoughts and you honor the training of your brain and you start trusting yourself, you start becoming more congruent. When you become more congruent, you start becoming more confident. When you become more confident, you start having more courage. When you have more courage, you start contributing in this crazy way to the world around you that you know that you are no longer, not even just holding yourself back for your own benefit, you're beyond that and you're personally benefiting it, but from other people on the exterior of your life are benefiting in such exponential ways that it brings back and feeds back so much joy to you. So, I mean, that in a nutshell is why my challenge to you is to change your story. Change your story. You guys, I love that. And change your story about money. That's another one we haven't actually dove into, but changing your story. Shona, if you're still here, I saw you pop on. You and I talk about this all the time. And this is one I'm working on too. I'm changing my story about abundance. Abundance versus scarcity mindset. Gary, thank you for sharing your story. You guys, anybody who comments, I'm going back later. And whether you're watching this live or not, you will get personal comment back from me because I want to celebrate the fact that you are here and you're showing up. And for me, that abundance mindset and busy, so scarcity mindset and too busy mindset, they don't serve me. They aren't the lifestyle that I want. They aren't the influence I want. They don't bring me joy. So I'm not going to use the words anymore. You guys, the power of your words change everything. So I hope this has been inspiring. I'm going to open it up just for a minute. If there's any questions that I can honor and serve you guys, I promised an email. This could be some open Q&A. I'd happy to share more of my story about how I really held myself back or really anything pertaining to this topic. So I'll give you guys just a minute as I sip my coffee. And I want to thank you guys for hanging out. Let's see, Carrie, yours didn't follow through. Yes. Oh, love it. Following through is huge. And you guys, there is a new app called Done. If you're I don't know if it's Android as well, but it's on the iOS platform. It is awesome. One of the things I've been trying to follow through more on with myself is playing with my dog more often. That's part of me rewriting that I'm too busy mentality. And it's a great habit app, and you literally just ask yourself how many times a week are you doing something, and you get to click it, and it's really satisfying. So my dog's name is Finnegan, so my habit is 5 minutes with Finn. And that he likes to be chased. So it's me walking around the couch chasing him for 5 minutes. And then when I'm done, you better believe I pull my phone out and I go, check. So that's a great thing. Hopefully, Carrie, that could be helpful, a great app for you in helping you follow through. I use it for my self-care as well, because self-care, and this again, it goes back to my story of saying, I'm so busy. Well, I've got all these wonderful beauty counter products that I adore, but sometimes I'm too busy to use them. You guys, that's not okay. So one of my habits that I'm forming in my new lifestyle of having abundance in my life is full. My life is full, not busy. It's also filled and full with self-care. So one of my habits at night that I'm tracking so that I follow through more on it is my nighttime routine. I'm really great at the morning, but I'm weaker at the night, so I want to celebrate that progress. So it's really key to celebrate as you go. And that's been helpful. I'm telling you, I think it's just called Done. It's Done in the in the iPhone app. More marketing from, yes. Oh, as a florist, heck yeah. Girl, Facebook Live is where you need to be. Get out and do it. And you guys, I love that this was a great coffee break. I can't wait to go back and comment. And yeah, if you feel uplifted at all, again, please tag anybody. Adele, yeah, I can, yes. I know. I know. I'm getting much better about this. I'm taking my makeup off. I've got these wonderful night creams and face oils. And you guys, I mean, it's like, I love my beauty counter stuff. So what I've had to do is lay it out on the sink so it looks at me when I'm brushing my teeth so that I feel the guilt. And then I go, wait, Trish, like this is important because you guys, one thing that I've realized is the 5 to 10 minutes of something can change the trajectory of your whole day. So when you're in a funk, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling distracted or discouraged, I want you to say, okay, I can do this. I can change my pattern and disrupt it for 5 to 10 minutes. And that's what I've found my nighttime routine with Beauty Counter has done. It's changed and disrupted it for 5 to 10 minutes, and then I can take off and feel great, and I wake up feeling more beautiful. So, Adele, you're funny. So here's the deal, y'all. I would love to keep this conversation going. Like I said, please continue to comment, share. If you're joining the broadcast late, if this is on a replay, I will personally go back and make some comments and participate and just converse with you in the next 72 hours. Tag any friends you think would be encouraged by this, and I'll see you guys on my Facebook page. And though, also, by the way, keep an eye out. I'm so excited to be launching in 2017 an amazing experience. It's going to be called the College of Confidence, and it's going to help on everything we've talked about, that times 10. And it's just a monthly membership where I am going to be giving about it. It's going to be just ridiculous support and community where we're talking about confidence, community, and contribution all the time, and how to do it more in your personal life and in your business. And it's going to be off the charts amazing. I've been working for a year on the content to get it out there. Right now, we don't have all the details set, but I am offering to the first 250 students the founding member title. So you can go check that out, trishblackwell.com/founding member. They're going to get the lowest price. They're getting 50% off enrollment and the privilege of being called a founding member of the College of Confidence. So check that out. I love you guys. Happy coffee break to you. I hope that was great. And good little message. Just be happy. Okay. Bye, guys.